Alright guys, I wrote down this video idea that the legendary beasts are Eeveelutions. I think there's a cool explanation. When Game Freak starts off writing their games, especially with the first two gens, they obviously had like a lot more spark or like a certain direction that they were planned ahead and we're just having fun with, like Ho-Oh being already in the works and like half of the Gen 2 Pokemon already existing, just being scrapped and then put in Gen 2. Even in Gen 3, they kind of kept that approach. Like Regigigas was foreshadowed, and there's a reference to Regigigas in, just not by name, in Ruby and Sapphire. And it's not to downplay the future gens, because there's some fun stuff with like AZ's Floette, but when it comes to the second gen in particular and with Ho-Oh, there's this whole lore where on the Burn Tower that Ho-Oh resurrected 3 Pokemon, and those 3 Pokemon are the legendary beasts, Raikou, Entei, and Suicune. I don't think there's multiple, I think there's only 3. And if there are multiple, maybe Ho-Oh resurrected a couple more. And it has like a template of 3, who knows. But the cool idea, which is a theory that people have said for a long time, is that the legendary beasts, what if they're Eeveelutions? The primary Eeveelutions are Electric, Jolteon, Water Vaporeon, and Fire Flareon, which are the same as the 3 legendary beasts. So this theory was born that 3 Eeveelutions, a Flareon, a Jolteon, and a Vaporeon died. Ho-Oh came, resurrected them, and because Ho-Oh is this god, when it resurrected them, they got born as Super Jolteon, Super Vaporeon, and Super Flareon, and they roam around as legendary beasts now, which is a really cool idea. And I feel like Ho-Oh doesn't have enough respect on its name when now you get into Kyogre and Groudon, time and space legendaries. It's like Ho-Oh is this immortal phoenix. I want to give it more credit. And Lugia is this Pokemon that it's so powerful it has to hide itself. That is some underrated lore that you just go past when you compare it to all the big legendaries now. I feel like Lugia could whip Kyogre's ass. You know guys, let's be real. It's easy to make a cool looking design. It's easy to make the Garchomp, the Salamence. It's easy to make a badass looking Pokemon. The hard thing is making unique Pokemon. The problem is they're not appreciated as much. It's a weak example, but like Askew. It's a penguin with an ice freaking head, and it's a stupid design, but that's kind of the playful designs. They intentionally know he looks stupid. They know he looks hideous, but that's the fun, to create something unique. So when we look back at the legendary beasts, this is what we got. We got Raikou, Entei, and Suicune. Pivotal. Legendary designs. Raikou, the saber-toothed tiger. Entei, I don't know, is he a lion? And Suicune's like a Japanese goat. And this is what it looked like here. Raikou looked like he went to the wrong barber for this picture. But these are them. But in the beta gold and silver leaks from the year 2000, when the game was probably still called Pokemon 2, they had much different designs. And the designs here are, this is what Raikou used to look like. He was black, lightning hair. This is what Entei used to look like. And my most favorite, this is what Suicune used to look like. The long hair, the droopy, always in the water. It's covering its eyes. I love this design so much. Obviously, I wouldn't trade the current designs for them, but for sure, I wish this was a real Pokemon. Put a picture of Vaporeon beside this. That looks like a legendary version of Vaporeon, a Super Flareon. And this one doesn't look much like a Jolteon, but that's because it's black, because it's so electric. The reason I want to talk about this is because when you look at these 3 original designs, this is what the lore was made thinking about. These were the actual designs when they were writing that Ho-Oh resurrected these 3 Pokemon and they're the beasts. And they wrote down in the story that you're going to go down to the tower, and they're going to see you, and they're going to go all over the region. And if these were the actual designs when that was written, it really makes you think that maybe they are Eeveelutions. So it's not obviously exactly a Vaporeon here, though it's so very visible here. It's almost like Vaporeon is the base, and like a whole new Pokemon was made based off it. So deep inside here is a Vaporeon, deep inside here is the spirit of a Flareon, and deep inside here is the spirit of a Jolteon. That's kind of how you have to think of it. Not like it's supposed to look like Mega Vaporeon, Mega Flareon, Mega Jolteon. It's just like the spirit, the essence is in there, and that's what it transforms and makes this whole new Pokemon out of. Like I said, back then they had like this cool fun with the way they wrote their lore and stuff. Like, just think about the fact that in the first games, they dealt with clones. If they introduced some sort of clone system and lore in Gen 9, you'd be like, Pokemon is run out of ideas. This is so weird. They did that in the first generation. That's the weirdest thing you can do, because they're just having fun. Mewtwo's a whole hidden story inside Red and Blue. It's not really told on the forefront, and he's just an extra you find in the post game. But his lore, he exists in the diaries. It says Mew gave birth on February 6th. There's the whole island, Mr. Fuji, all these hints. So they have fun with unexplained lore in the first few generations. I feel like this is the kind of thing they would have done. You know though, if we want to give the Regigigas treatment, maybe, you see where I'm going with this. If Regigigas can just go, pick up some Play-Doh and be like, yo, I feel like making a psychic Reggie today. What if in Gen 9, they expand the Ho-Oh lore and Ho-Oh... This is kind of weird. I was gonna say Ho-Oh resurrects like, something in the spirit of Espeon and Umbreon. We can slowly introduce these more legendary beasts. I think that's pretty cool now that I think of it. But at the same time, the fact that the base of a legendary beast, if we're supposing this, is that it's an evolution of Eevee, which is this weird Pokemon that just evolves into all sorts of different things. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird that the prequel is this common Pokemon Eevee. Unless you expand the lore about what makes Eevee so special about its genetics and link it up to something Ho-Oh's able to do, then maybe they're just a match. Maybe Ho-Oh's like, hey, you're a good vessel. Let me make a bunch of Eeveelutions out of you. Legendary beasts. Like, just imagine the trailer in a Gen 9. It just shows 2 new legendary beasts. A dark one and a light one. You do it the right way, it'd be sick. I think, I'll make a whole video on this, but I think more legendary beasts would be better than like how we got the birds in Galarian forms. They worked excellently for Galarian forms. I don't think we want Galarian Raikou. What are you gonna do? He's black. Unless you make a Gen 9 Raikou into Suicune and it's just these, I think it'd be better if the beasts were just different typed beasts entirely. I mean, with these Pokemon, you really can't change their typings. Rai means thunder, N means fire, Sui means water. Nah, these dudes can't really have their name changed. You let me know. Shank that like button. That's it. Peace.